What kind of father do you want to be? What kind of man do you want to become for your family and for yourself? If you've ever wondered how to step into the fullness of your role as a father, husband, and man of God, then you're in the right place. Here at the Father Difference, our mission is to inspire and equip men to be the best fathers they can be. It's a powerful mission. And today, we're going to explore exactly how you can take steps toward that calling. Whether you're a father, a son, a husband, grandfather, single dad, stepfather, or just looking to grow, I believe God has something powerful for you in today's message. Whether you're tuning in live or watching this later, we are so excited to have you here. If this is what you're looking for, then subscribe so you can tune in each week to the Father Difference Live. You can sign up below. And now, your host, a husband, father, grandfather, author, and former NFL player, Pastor Ed McGlasson.
Well, welcome. Welcome to the Father Difference podcast. I got my best friend in the world. We met on a high school field racing each other many years ago. Churchill High School in Potomac, Maryland. Yes, Potomac, Maryland, land of the horses and all the senators, and yours truly and Brian. We were raised there, and we met and became incredible friends. And we've changed just a little bit. We're just we sort of look like this, back in the day, right in the beginning of our NFL careers together, and Brian, God has used him in incredible ways. Super Bowl champ, he, a speaker, just building incredible teams. I'm going to show this. I hate showing this, but it's good. He's got so much hardware. Look at all that hardware, man. All those NFL things. But his claim to fame is, and his influence. I love this picture so much. Sitting around with a bunch of young people right after college. Right, it's right at the end of college, right?
No, this is after the Pro Bowl.
After the Pro Bowl. And just being an influencer and a father is probably his greatest claim to fame. Other than, I don't have those pictures queued up, him being a crazy grandpa. And here's my friend, Brian Holloway. We will welcome to the podcast today.
Yeah, it's great seeing you. I was looking so forward to this, and it's sort of a wonderful way to kick off the weekend. And for us, some people see weekends as, well, let's go play, let's go do this. For us, the weekend is when we get ready to go to work at the highest level. And right. It doesn't matter, Friday, Saturday, we know it's getting ready for game day on Sunday. And even still, 45 years after the draft, going through the emotions and the experience, I absolutely can still feel all the moments. And all the way.
And I was thinking about that. Look at this. I still have my rookie helmet. Now, guys out there, that you see those big water balloon helmets they have today. Check this out, okay? This was the technology of the day, right?
Whoa, no. Let me slow your roll real quick. How did you get the highest end helmet the year that you came out? That helmet was the highest end. You couldn't get that at the Patriots. We had strings. You had to pay. You had to pay.
You had to pay extra back in that day.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The Jets organization's gone through a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But we got good helmets, but the protection on this bad boy, there's not much protection. It's basically your helmet's in there and your brain is bouncing back and forth with all those concussions.
Yep.
But anyway, that we
Part of the
had a
game.
lot. And notice there's no face mask on there because the last time I wore this, I got in a fight with Joe Klecko, and this was my number one game helmet, and Mark Gastineau in practice, and Gastineau rips my mask off my helmet.
I've had many wonderful afternoons on Sunday where we enjoyed a cup of tea together on that field, 100 yards by 50.
Yes.
And he got served maybe more than once.
That's right.
Or
That's right.
twice. Some delight from the New England Patriots.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that was incredible organization. You had a lot of incredible stories and history there with the family and the difference. So I thought we talked today to kind of deliver about, because people think about the NFL draft and all these players are making all this gazillion dollars, but what they don't understand is that the pool of players that have an opportunity that are sitting around that phone on draft day all the way through, I guess it's 3 days now, waiting for a phone call. And so few guys get a phone call. So few guys get picked.
Yeah. There's about 4,000. There's 4,000 that believe that they have got a shot and they're going to get drafted. And those 4,000 are represented by 1,200 agents, 2,500 agents fighting for their to sign a contract. And you're exuberant and excited and nervous, and the weight of your family is on your shoulders, and for some in ways that are beyond imagination. I buy grandma a house. We finally have a place to stay. My 6 brothers and sisters don't have to live in one room anymore. That sort of thing. So tremendous amount of burden, but exciting. And but for 90% of them, they won't get a call.
Yeah, I mean it's what round you were first round, right?
Right, first round, yeah.
First round, and I was the second center picked in the 8th round.
Okay, there you go.
The year before and waited around to the second day, and I remember getting that phone call. Well, congratulations! You're being invited to New York Jets have picked you in the 8th round, and I was like, awesome. And so any money at all would have been a bonus from the per diem in college. It's not so that way today, but back in my day, I got $100 a week. I was a gazillionaire with $100 after everything else is paid for, and it was a totally different deal. But I remember just kind of the nerve wracking, and before I was picked, Tom Landry called me, and before the draft started, and said, "Get ready, Ed. We're considering you to be our number 1 pick for center."
That's a big call, isn't it?
Oh my
From
gosh!
Landry?
In the first round, and so I was like, "Yeah, Dallas Cowboys."
Yep.
And they picked a guy who got hurt in training camp and really never played much at all. I don't want to mention his name. I don't
mention
want
his name.
No, I'm not going to tear him.
Mention his name. It's history.
I am not going to tear the brother down.
It's not tearing. There are a lot of people that left football to the greatest breakthroughs in their life. Okay?
I know that. So anyway, from that moment on, I made it my life goal that whenever I played the Dallas Cowboys, I was going to play extra hard so that they would realize they picked the wrong guy.
Yeah,
wrong guy. But you know what? And get this. And then, now you see how dumb I was in college. Eddie DeBartolo is a Youngstown State grad. He comes to me. He's the son of the owner of the San Francisco 49ers. He comes to me the day before the draft and says, listen, Eddie Mack, we love you, and I would love nothing better to give you a contract, even right now before the draft, to get you to San Francisco. We're bringing in this guy who we think could be a sleeper. We're going to try to get him. His name is Joe Montana. We need a center that will be with him, and we think that he's gonna take us to the big time. I looked at him, okay. All-American self, big whoop, and said, weren't you like 2-14? And he looked at me and goes, this is a great opportunity, Eddie Mack. I said, Dallas called me, and I think I'm going in the first round.
No.
And I told him, mixed on that deal. And the next day, in the first round,
you could not have said the worst thing.
The worst thing. And so they picked Randy Cross, who's a great center, great human being, and became Joe Montana's center for most of Joe's career and kept him from getting hit. And, and it was like, but here's the deal. God works, and we're going to talk about this a lot through our podcast today, but God works in all those decisions. Little did I know, that was one of the best choices of my life, because I ended up in my career ending up in California and meeting Jill and getting the woman of my dreams.
Yeah.
And coming back to my father's land and pastoring a church. But God had to do something in me to prepare me for that calling.
Grand commission. That grand
commission. So that was my draft story. Tell us yours, Brian.
I had no idea when people talked about, well, you're going to be one of the top tackles in the draft. I really didn't know what that meant. I was weightlifting and training. Our schedule was so intense because as soon as the season's over, you and I flew back home and got in the weight room. College was still going on, and we were training. So I would say that in some ways I was so blind with exhaustion and determination that I did not have any idea what it meant to be, well, you're number 1 or 2 tackle in the league. I didn't know what that meant. I know that there are a bunch of scouts around. I know that I was getting a lot of calls. I know that I was flying in and out. I know Tom Landry sent a private jet and flew me into Dallas. And as I was sitting there standing, on the star, and the stadium opens up, and it says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Dallas Cowboys #1 draft pick from Stanford University, All-American Brian Holloway. And so the crowd just roared. And there was no crowd, but it was a sound system. And then I heard someone, now I'm sitting there in the stadium like this. What just happened? And then I heard, Brian, we really need you. And then I looked like this. And then I heard another voice, no, big dog, we really need you. And there's Staubach and Dorsett. I'm like, it was an experience beyond information, because you can't get any bigger than that. And I was like, whoa, yeah. And so I was certain Dallas was going to be, but going into it, you just didn't know. And you and I know, we trained and we knew exactly where we needed to be doing. We knew our training schedule. We knew our running and conditioning. We knew where we wanted to be for the draft, and we knew where we wanted to be surrounded by. And so we were there, and we had a telephone, the old-fashioned telephone with the long cords.
Oh, yeah, it goes into the other room. If you're a young person, we had mobile phone, but it had a 47-foot expander cord on it. we'd walk in the kitchen, do the dishes with the phone on our shoulder, do whatever we're doing, eat our lunch. That was our mobile phone.
Yeah. Well, I brought about 50 foot of 50 foot of line down the road and hooked it up to the phone and double checked everything. And so what happened was everybody was calling in, and
Yeah.
I told my dad, I told the family, and I told my brothers and sisters, like, um, don't have anyone call in. Don't.
Nobody. Nobody.
No. Yeah. And so, but of course they're calling in, and then and so grandma's there too. And so we had to coordinate so that she could pick up the phone and listen exactly the same time I picked up the phone.
That's right.
Because she was delighted. She thought this was so exciting. And she goes, this is better than watching the Brooklyn Dodgers. I'm like, Grandma, please.
Brooklyn Dodgers. She's
Yeah,
old school,
back
man.
in the day. So
Yeah.
the first call was Bill Walsh, and it was
Mm.
7th and 8th pick in the first round.
Mm.
And Walsh said, Brian, I want to pick you. And we've talked about this before. You don't have any objections to coming to the 49ers as our first round draft pick. I said, no, I'm very excited. He said, good, you'll play left tackle, be the blind side. The general manager is going to come on here in a second. I want you to hold on to the phone. We'll be drafting in a minute or two. I said, okay. So the general manager comes on. General manager says, hello, Brian. Nice to talk to you. Hello, Ronnie. Nice to hear your voice. So it's Ronnie Lott. And Ronnie Lott was a dear friend of mine. And we had
Yeah.
known each
What a
other's and
player.
we followed each other's career. We were recruited in the same class out of high school. He's the son of a military officer. And I said, hey, Ronnie, how are you, man? And I said, best of luck today. And then he asked Ronnie, he said, Ronnie, we got Brian on the phone, and we'd like to draft you. But if you're going to be difficult to sign, we're going to take Brian. Are we going to have problems signing you, Ronnie? Ronnie said, nope. My life was dead.
Hello.
Yeah. But it was absolutely the right decision.
Oh yeah.
And
well,
it
Ronnie,
was,
what a player.
yeah, yeah. And you think about it, I'm like, I should have gone there. But the kind of history that God unwrapped and unfolded that needed Ronnie Lott to be there, and only Ronnie could make it happen, it was absolutely the right choice.
Yeah, that's right.
So everybody is sitting there just rattled now. So we're all sitting there on pins and needles because that's, the draft is only, 45 minutes old now? And so then I get another call. And this one's from, I want to say it was Kansas City. And they called, Brian, we're so excited. We're going to draft you. Are you looking forward? What are your thoughts about? I said, I love Kansas City. I enjoy being there when we did the combine. It's a beautiful city, fantastic fans. And I was very close with Hank Stram because he was one of the coaches on the sideline at the Senior Bowl. And when I was playing, I had a very good camp with them. But I come off the field, I was covered with blood. And I realized it was my hand. My tip of my finger was cut off. And the coach said, hey, listen, that's it for you, Holloway. And go get sewn up. And I said, I'm not leaving. I'll be in the next series. Do you have a doctor here? Is there a doctor here who can sew this up? And he, well, we don't do this on the side. I said, can you sew this on the sideline? And I'm sitting there watching the next play. And so he goes, well, I've never done this before. So he's injected me on the sideline. He sews me up and tapes it up, go back, and I said, make double tape it. And I go back and finish the game without missing a play. So Hank Stram saw that, looked at me, and he's like, and I looked at him like, I'm a tackle. That's what we do. And so they said, okay, we're going to draft you. Hold on. So I'm holding the phone, and they go, your press conference is going to start right away after. Okay, the Kansas City Chiefs draft. Wait a minute, there's been a trade. and all of a sudden my line goes dead.
Boop,
So
number two.
number two. So I was like, oh my! And I think it happened one more time, and finally the Patriots called, and so it was very simple. Brian, we're going to draft you. We're very excited about you. I remember, I think his name was Dick Steinberg, really brilliant guy, one of the minds of outstanding general manager at building out. He drafted me, and they welcomed me to the New England Patriots, and they look forward to building out a future, a big future. So it was quite exciting, and all that, of course, I wanted to go to the Cowboys. Yes, I wanted to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, I wanted to be part of the Washington Redskins. Yes, but the who we are as young men and growing up in that fan base has nothing to do with the commission that God has determined that is for us.
That's right.
That we are required, and it is appropriate to bring out the rest of the gifts that He's had planned when life was blown into us and said, "There will be a man."
That's right. And so there's a lot of so what's a percentage of players today that have an opportunity, and then what percent is it? Did you say earlier is 10% of the players are drafted?
They're
Out of,
probably 10% of the players who think they're going to get drafted actually do get drafted.
so that's it. So there's 4,000 players, right?
4,000, and if you want to tighten it up, maybe 2,800. But 4,000 believe they're going to be drafted, and there's 4,000 players that are out of the league who think they're going to be brought back in.
Yeah, so it's a shrinking pool. Between 5 and 10% of those players get deals and get a chance to go. Now here's what people don't understand. If you're not a football person, getting drafted doesn't mean you've made the team.
It's you're you're a long way from that train station, buddy.
Yeah.
A long way.
Yeah, so you don't get that jersey, you don't get that locker room thing to where now you are on the team with the jersey in our day, I think it was about 8 weeks from you showing up in mini camp and then training camp and then to the end of preseason where the final cut is before the first game of the season.
Yeah, but I've told ball players this, and I was very, very adamant about and impressed upon this when I was the vice president of the league. I said, if you put on the jersey once, even in practice, that's a career.
Yeah.
Okay? And you can launch from the brand, you can launch from the story, you can launch from a history, and it's authenticated. And you go on and do many other big and amazing things. And
right.
And so, because you get 12 to 16, let's say 12 rookies that come into camp, there'll be 4 remaining, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because it's I remember when I showed Jeff's training camp, I was surprised that they were looking at 7 centers for one spot.
I pretty much know. I helped load you in.
And I remember the offensive line coach at minicamp, which is in May, where rookies come in, and I said, "Hey, coach, I'm really here to work hard." He looks at me and he goes, "Well, we drafted you, but we got a couple of veterans we're bringing in. I don't think you have much chance making the team. You're not strong enough or fast enough for what we need, so you need to go work on that." And so I went crazy for all that time before there, gained some weight, got stronger, came in, and one by one, and I was on the 7th floor in the dormitory where all rookies had to walk up 7 flights of stairs. We couldn't use the elevator. That's only for players only for veterans. So every day after practice, and would see what they didn't know is that I would run up and down those stairs and I got my legs stronger every single day. And I remember those mornings in the dormitory, and you hear this, bring your playbook to the coach. And I was on a rookie floor, the highest one, and every day I'm waiting for that knock on my door. And you could hear them. They'd come in on cut day, which you see once a week, and they're knocking, hey, bring your playbook to the coach.
Yeah.
And I'd be there. I got my Bible open. I got my face. I sleep with my face in my Bible. Going, Lord, whatever you want, I'm here to serve you. And you know what? If they cut me, you got something way better for me. And so anyway, one by one, and then the final week, I got a knock on my door. Hey, Eddie Mack. He goes, oh, by the way, head coach wants to see you. Congratulations. You're a New York Jet football player.
There you go.
And I wept. I wrote in my Bible, because my verse in the Bible was in Isaiah 40:31. Those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles.
That's right.
They'll run and not be weary, and they'll walk and not faint.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wrote all over my Bible, all the things I was learning at training camp. And my daughter, Mary, has that Bible, and she reads it all the time and sees all my notes. It's one of those great legacies, by the way, if you make a journal as a father and let your kids read about your real journey with Jesus. And good, bad, and there are excerpts in that Bible of mine where I had this girlfriend that I knew, and I was talking about her way before I met her mom. And then she saw me struggle and pray, ask God to help me, and it became this legacy, journey for my children, because they saw, and this is one that I talk about this all the time, and we do as friends, is that one of the most important things that your children discover about you is that you struggle with all the same things they do. And you turning to Jesus and walking towards him and living your life and confessing your sin and asking for forgiveness and modeling that life, no matter how cool your jersey is or what you do, is the roadmap for your kids to really discover that same relationship with Christ himself.
And it's so important because Christ doesn't come as a taker away of life.
Yes.
He comes with chariots of gifts.
That's
and
right.
resources and sensibilities and wisdoms and adventures and commissions and things of great things.
That's
so
true.
Which is beautiful.
That is.
Yeah.
So, let's talk a little bit. Talk a little bit about how you, as a player, how you discovered your own relationship with Jesus in the midst of playing football and balancing all that out and all the things you had to struggle with there. And share with, because right now when you see a 50-yard line shot and ESPN makes a mistake and lets the camera look at center field of the NFL, you're going to see 40 or 50 players out there on their knee praying on opposite teams. I mean, God is doing something extraordinary with this generation of players that I love so much. But talk a little bit about you working out your relationship with Jesus when you were a player, and what was that moment? What were maybe a couple of moments where, in the midst of everything you were going through, Christ came through in a way that just really solidified your story and of being born again and following him.
Well, I think it going from Potomac and then fly all the way out to the West Coast. Now that was quite and it wasn't one of those things where you go, okay, God, I trust you. no, I'm going. You sent me. I'm going. I'm a warrior. And so one of the things that I went out there, the mindset is that no matter what the situation, there's a calling, and I am going to respond to that calling. And when I got out there, I was like, "Did you have this calling for me, God? Are you? Because I don't see it that way." And but it was some carving out the man of God that he knew was to be one of his great treasures, because that's how he feels
Mm,
about all of us.
that's
And
right.
so
That's right.
it was difficult leaving, coming across country. It was difficult being thrown in a new space, and even though it was Stanford, I mean, everyone there's a stranger.
Yeah.
And
So you're talking, people might not know you went to Stanford.
yes, yeah, yeah.
So, and you know, to get into Stanford's hard enough as it is. Being a football player might make it a little easier, but it's some serious work there in school and everything else.
The
And
velocity of demand was unlike anything I'd ever imagined.
yeah,
And here I was at Stanford. My sister was at Stanford. We were there 3 years together. I saw her
and we
twice.
know how smart Karen is.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, she took over everything. She went in, she took it over. Everything in every
Yeah.
endeavor, way up on Wall Street. And you know, all those, when all of a sudden Starbucks comes in and now they're serving breakfast stuff and serving stuff for, that you can, hand foods and the stuff for dogs and the dog pops. And my sister was part of that creation, that design.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, she's
She's
just so
always
intelligent.
incredibly brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. So, and and my brother, incredible. I went out there, and I was. There's a place that exists way past overwhelm and exhaustion,
Yes.
and I would say that that was the place that God had for me.
Yeah, that's right.
And
So
so
what was there some moments there when, you know, when we get in this place of being overwhelmed, if we turn to our own natural strength, uh, we'll flounder. You know, we'll get way out there. But was there a moment at Stanford with you and Jesus that was like, or maybe later or earlier, that cemented in you how to connect to, you know, what Philippians calls the peace that passes all understanding, right? Where you
I
know you're in the place and God's with you.
you know, I think the hammer was hitting so hard
Yeah.
on top of my head that I there was no place to be. I didn't venture. I didn't venture. I'm like, you want to hit me? Hit me harder. You know, if that's just what. No, you gotta hit me. I mean, I'm gonna. This is it. If this is it. If this is what you've declared for me, you know, it was like, hit me. And he was carving some stuff out that was beyond anything that I could ever imagine.
Hmm.
And so that was my. There wasn't a, you know, departure or, you know, I'm going to do this or, you know, God, I'm mad at you. It's like, God's blood bought, bro. Blood brought.
Yeah.
And so I was going to give everything in me every single day. And I'd sit there after practice and in tremendous pain, migraines, beat up, my knee operated on once, other knee operated on. And I'm sitting there with 6 ice bags studying my books. And Tim Mayotte and who's the other great tennis player? Tim Mayotte and kind of famous one.
McEnroe?
Yeah, McEnroe walk by and they go, "What are you doing, Holloway? You're going to be a first round pick." I says, "And I'm going to graduate with my class." "You're so stupid. You're so like you've got time to study." Okay, because you think if you think about it now, I mean, we were committed 100 hours a week to football.
That's right.
100 hours? There is
Yeah.
no other student with the exception of those students that were working, who had to
That's right.
work in order to go to school, that were putting in 100 hours. Now, some people put 100 hours, but you didn't put in 100 hours that beat the crap out of you and empty you out. So it was very difficult to study exhausted,
That's right.
extremely difficult.
Yeah, I even tried putting ice packs on my brain because I was a pre-med major.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was like, oh man, how are you going to catch up with all that you got to put
Yeah.
in?
Yeah. 2 on each knee and 2 on my neck and shoulders. And I would even go, sleep. I just get ace wraps and just sleep with them on and just go, just give me enough strength for another day, guy. I'm going to go after tomorrow. And you need to sit there and come back and talk to Ed when you go to 7-Eleven, and you see the ice they have out there that people buy for partying, and all you see is a pillow. You go, that would be perfect for a pillow. I'm going to use this tonight. And you go sleep on an ice bag as your pillow.
Oh
That's
man.
something else.
Oh man, I was in Youngstown. We had ice on the ground. I just walk out and stick my ankles and my knees right in the snowpack. And
That
boy, I
was,
get those things cold right now.
yeah, it wasn't like that out there, but yeah.
So talk a little bit about, going into training camp. As a rookie, you're going to training camp and you got the all-world John Hanna at a left guard who's, like 6 foot by 6 foot wide. I mean, the guy is like I'd never seen ankles or legs bigger than his.
Yeah,
He was a farmer. He's a pig farmer, I guess, down in Alabama and done very well. But the walking in there with your quarterback and everything that you had to deal with, what was it like for you as a rookie?
Well, I had no way to wrap my head around John until you see him. And then you're like, I haven't seen that before. So, literally, he was Bo Jackson level, where you're like, there's only one. There's only one. And when you see some of that Jerry Rice level, and you know it from jump. You don't have to go anywhere else. He was not allowed to hit the sled because he broke so many of them.
Yeah, I'd never seen anybody, because I met him years later, because he was walking with Jesus and we were doing some crusade stuff together. And I looked at his legs and I said, man, where do you get your pants? He goes, well, I get my pants. I get I get like 5 sizes too big in the waist. We cut it down. And then I put elastic on the seams so that it can fit, because I can't get my leg. Can't get my leg in the pants.
Yeah. He's, probably 42-inch, close to 44-inch size. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And it was just one of those natural things. And he's probably the hardest worker on the field that I'd ever seen.
Yeah, great ethic. And what'd you learn from him being a player? I mean, what was the thing that you took away that, you're out there? Did you start right away at left tackle or?
Well, my coach was Jim Ringo, and Jim Ringo was a fantastic Hall of Fame center under Lombardi.
Yeah, great line coach, man.
And he came in and, he told me when I come in, because I held out for 2.5 weeks, he said, young man, welcome here. I'll be your coach. Okay. Now we're going to work together. Okay. And I'm going to be right with you. All I ask for is your best. So he really communicated, and he had an understanding about me coming into camp late, that I had some catch up to do. And he understand also the demands that were on me. So he had there is a wonderful voice of wisdom that says, you aren't going to get everything right now. It's going to take a minute.
Yeah.
And I've got the skills and experience in my coaching to coach you through this. But welcome to camp. That's where we start.
Yeah.
And we'll get your playbook. So he was very thoughtful and pensive. And he says, I'm not going to push you to start. Could you start right away? I'm not. He said, yes, but I'm not going to do that. You need to watch. Okay. If I start you too soon, it's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was good. He allowed me to get the offense underneath me. He allowed me to understand how John liked to run the huddle and the momentum that the team needed, and also some of the directive, because in order for the team to do well, they needed a powerful, explosive, top tier, top three offensive lines in the country, and that we play a very powerful form of football, a very aggressive form of football, where the goal is to move the line 4 to 5 yards before the running back even broke through it.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
right. You got to have that surge before the defense ends up owning you. When did Brady come on the team?
Brady was 4 years old when I played. So Brady
He
didn't
was
come up.
already there.
What's that?
He was already there then.
Brady was 4 years old.
Oh no, 4 years old. So now did you? So well, actually,
had
so
Grogan.
you never
We had Grogan.
fought for him then.
Grogan. We had Easton. We had Kavanaugh, and we even had Doug Flutie for a minute.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
So with all those, that turned into how many Super Bowls for you guys?
So we were the very first New England Patriot team ever to go to the Super Bowl. And today we are number one. And so we kicked the door open for the dynasty. The Patriots have been to 12 Super Bowls, which is number one in the National Football League.
Yeah, amazing. It's funny. You kind of miss, we see ourselves. We forget how many years that you've been out there, and so Tom was 4 years old.
Right? I mean,
oh yeah. Well, now you can tell I've taken a few hits. Okay,
yeah, he was a little older than that. I mean, but when I went out to the last Super Bowl out in San Francisco 2 months ago, I mean, it was astonishing. It had been 40 years since we went to the first Super Bowl, and it was crazy. And it was out there, and they practiced at Stanford. I said, "You got to be kidding me!" So I had a wonderful reunion with friends and family at Stanford, and then met up with Jim Plunkett and got a chance to salute him and his greatness. And it was. I went back and saw the athletic facility and saw the places and the stuff that we helped build out, and walked into the offensive room, and I got a big old picture plastered on the wall. And I got a chance to meet the new coaching staff, and because they're trying to build out, because they're having to do a complete rebuild, adjusting to this NIL world. So it was good being out there. And then I was going down to watch practice, and they had max security, max, and I walked up, and they said, "Sorry, you don't have credentials from this." And I was like, I didn't want to lean in too hard on them. I'm like, bro, I built this place. I didn't. I just, I said, listen, and I had some nice conversations with them, and I verified my credentials, and it doesn't work. Even when I bring out my ID card or passport or birth certificate, it doesn't work until I show them football cards, and then it works.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, I have one of these in my collection. We got the ancient heroes of yesteryear.
Yeah, I'm like,
gosh.
So,
one of the things I want to talk about too is about what players go through, because there's if your core identity is just to be a football player. And I mean, that's one of the things I talk about a lot, is that God's made us to have our core identity to be a beloved son as a man, and to where, I mean, that's who we really are and the roles we have. And one of the roles that I got to have was to be a football player like you, and you've been a Fortune 500 speaker and leadership development guy for a lot of years, and yet I saw a lot of, like you have as well, I saw a lot of players who, they came into training camp to make the team. They didn't make it, and they really struggled in their life with who they were, because that ultimate dream, there's a lot of guys who think that the ultimate dream is the core identity, but it really isn't, is it?
You could. I'll tell you, you can go and sit there and have a conversation with Deion Sanders. He'll tell you the same thing.
That's right.
Because there is no king other than the King of Kings.
See, I love Deion. I love what he's doing with these players, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's a number of these coaches that I've noticed that they've really kind of stepped into the role of being a father coach.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Helping these guys really discover who they are in Christ, giving them permission to, celebrate their faith on the field. And yet, I watch him. I just love what he does. And it's such a powerful model what a spiritual father is.
Yeah, and he came a long way. I mean, for him to come and turn that corner, that's a long corner. But
he was like all world baseball player, professional baseball player, football player. I'm surprised he didn't do basketball too. I mean he was just so.
And he'll tell you, he says he had it all and more.
Yeah,
and he had nothing.
And
those are words out of his mouth.
And, I found it also kind of typical in the reaction to his, because one of the things that happens in the social media world and what it goes on all the time is that there's no forgiveness that you can find in the social media world, because no matter what you do, it could be 20, 30 years old. People they have videos to remember who you used to be.
Right.
And they don't quite understand about what happened to, like, a Deion Sanders who, had some checkered things in his past, but then encounters Jesus, and now he's all in for Jesus. And the world, because the devil loves, because he is the prince of the air and the prince of the airways, is to try to keep us locked in who we used to be and not the new creation Christ has made us to be now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that transformation is substantial and it's real. And it's up to some of the older players to take some of the young puppies under their wings.
That's right.
And help them through that transition, because no one has anything to identify with except the other veteran players. And it's vital for them because they'll be in situations where they'll be confronted. They'll be in situations where they'll want to explode or fight or give up. I was at a dinner, took the family out, a very nice place, and one of those things when all the family shows up, and you're like, okay, it's going to be $1,500 dinner. And so,
but people got to understand, how many kids do you have?
8.
8.
Yeah.
And how many of those 8 were hungry?
The boys ate 6 meals a day, bro. Boys ate 6 meals a day. You haven't lived. So you go out there and you go to McDonald's or Burger King and have a $225.
You used to call me from Costco. You come me from Costco, and you'd have to get like a panel van. They had all the groceries, And I go, well, how long does that last? Well, my kids are like locusts. And so you can just hear them in the kitchen eating, and it's like, until it's, Dad, we got no more cereal. How did you go through 20 boxes of cereal that quickly?
We had a guy from delivering pizzas. Hey, you guys must be having one heck of a party tonight. I said, no, we're not. He goes, well, you ordered 10 pizzas. I said, yeah, they'll be gone by morning. He said, don't you feed them dinner? I said, no, they've already eaten dinner.
That's power fathering.
Yeah, I was checking out. I wasn't Costco, it was BJ's, and so I've got 5 carts with me, which is typical. That's what you need to shop, and so I'm getting ready to walk out.
Will you link them together and just kind of like pull them?
I could go in there and I just need five mothers, get 5 carts, just fill them. It does not matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. And so I'm out there checking out, and then I go. They says, "Well, thank you for shopping with us." And I gave him I think I gave him a credit card. No, I said, "Yeah, I'd like to sign up for the BJ's card or whatever it is." He goes, "Sir, we're not going to you aren't going to pay we can't accept that." So I know what's going on. They see the brown skin and they start getting a little crazy. And I go, well, you do accept cash, don't you? And they looked at me and they pulled out a wad, like $2,000, and started peeling it off. I said, here, is that okay? He goes, yeah, that was. And then somebody goes, that's Holloway, bro. That's Holloway.
That is Holloway. Well, you've been amazing. Now, you're a grandpa to how many kids?
8, 10, 12, don't really know.
So they're reproducing as we speak. I mean,
like the kids, I told them, once you hit 35, I don't need to know your names anymore. I don't. Okay. And
I have this little trick on my iPhone. I put in all my grandkids and their birthdays, and I have them in a category. And so when they all come around and I have to wait a minute, well, which one is this? I can just look at my phone and go, oh, yeah, I got their pictures.
Category. I got a handwritten sheet sitting on the kitchen table with all their.
There's just nothing like being a father and a grandfather.
30 seconds and hold on.
Yeah, no, I want to see this.
Talk to yourself.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, hey, we're a little break here. He's getting some. Know him well, and so you might be watching today, and we're going to talk a little bit more, and then we'll send you on your road about the shock and awe of really NFL Draft Day, and so I'm here with Brian Holloway, and there we go. There's the list. And still writing. Oh my gosh. I know that's you even laminated that sucker, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, because everyone in this house that goes through here has got food on their fingers. That's why.
Yeah, that is so good. So as we're going to tie this together, I want you to take a moment and share about maybe even some examples you've seen, but how God can really use which might feel like a defeat for a young player that to not make the team in the NFL or not get that NFL identity, and how you've seen, in your years, and both of us have seen guys who God graduates those players, from that missed opportunity into something just extraordinary, where they, because they've done all the work, they got all these things in them. And then there's also guys who maybe struggle for years, when they lose that job. We've even had players that you and I have known that we played with after they retired and lost that sense of identity of being a player. Some of those guys even ended their life. And
Yeah.
how the true identity of being a son, a beloved son, is the only way to really survive the ups when you think you're all that, and the downs when you think you're nothing. So why don't you speak into that to our friends that are listening?
Yeah, well, I'd say this, and this is something that the veterans teach the younger players. And so, for the and if a player has a real man, a father in their life, and their father is grounded with the heart of
Mm-hmm.
God, um, they'll hear this, and I share this to anyone that be listening right now, who's living with tremendous regret or sorrow or difficulty or anger is incredibly destructive until you turn it into power, and the hand of God does that. And so when something like that, you get to those why God moments, like why, and I tell ball players this. I said, imagine what it's like for an archer to pull the bow back, and they pull it back farther than it's ever been pulled before. So much so that it is so taut that once the archer releases that, it will soar at a height and a place unseen before, never imagined. And so,
Mm.
going through those difficult times is very much like the same. And if you've never seen it before, and if you've never had anyone that can talk about it, having gone through it before, it's very
Mm.
difficult. But if you have
Yeah.
a mentor or father to sit there and go, you will do incredible things beyond this game. And for some, they became lawyers. For some, they became doctors and surgeons that they needed. For some, they became leaders in literally elementary school, and they found out that that's where their greatest love is. They've been someone
Mm.
that has
That's
taken
right.
on a position in any where they're having to be the lead in a driving performance in a factory, and all the lives that they were designed and commissioned to touch, not one or two lives, the hundreds of lives that they were responsible for. They will sit there and come to a place going, yes, this was the hand of God. Yeah, this was
Right.
the answer to prayer. This is the exact prayer I was praying going into football. No, this is the prayer. This would have blocked my whole future had I gone out there and played. This was an answer to prayer. I just couldn't see it. And so that kind of
Yeah, we,
wisdom.
we don't see it because we've convinced ourselves that that horizon of making it playing for 10 years or
Well,
whatever,
we
and
don't know. We don't. As a
we
young
think that
boy,
that horizon is it.
yeah, it's not.
It's not.
But we don't know, because that's all we could see, and that's all that's been shown to us. But as we get out and live a little bit, then all of a sudden you get to a new place, and so you'll be sitting there and find yourself in front leading a charge to places that you never imagined, and that you have to
Yeah.
have skills unlike anyone had ever seen. I remember I was getting into my car and I was tying a mattress on top because a bunch of people, family was coming in, and this guy came out of his car screaming at me, and I said, "What? Excuse me?" He says, "You're leaning on my car. Get off my car!" He's yelling, right? So he was up. He had to be from New York or New England or something. I mean, he was a customer of Blue Street, and he was every bit of 5 foot. And he got out of the car and he was still yelling at me, and I walked over him, and then it occurred to him at some point that I was 6'7", 350, and I looked at him and I said, "Sir," and I pointed a finger. I said, "Today, sir, you will live." And I walked away, and he got even madder. But I mean, to be able to be in a situation like that and given the strength and courage and wisdom that is beyond years, I mean, you're able to operate and perform and do things that football can't give you. And
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
and so there'll be, you will have blessings beyond what you imagine for yourself in football. It's in the Bible. It's
Yeah,
God's promise.
it is. And plus, one of the great things that you have done for years is that you've been a big time influencer in corporate America and Fortune 500 companies. And I mean, if you go to brianholloway.com, you will see all of the presidents and people that Brian has influenced for Jesus. And it's not just about football. It's about the character of Christ that God puts in you, that no matter what vocation you're in, you can become one of the highest callings. I think the highest calling of man is not to be the leader of a country, etc. It's to be a father or spiritual father of something, a family, maybe into a company, because a great leader in a company knows how to really father those employees. And you've met some leaders in business who had that kind of heart, and they built these incredible teams of men and women around them, and they did incredible things in their life.
Yeah. And if you want to scale, which is basically a fancy way of saying go bigger, get wider, get deeper, easier, where it's sustainable and scalable. And here's the fancy word, declining marginal cost, which means I can get bigger, faster, stronger, easier, with less effort, less energy. It's in the Bible, bro.
That's right.
It's in the Bible. So, I mean, that's the speed of grace. That's the speed of mercy. That's the speed of forgiveness. That's the speed of reconciliation.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah.
So good, my friend, and so good that you came here. We've talked about this. We're gonna do a bunch of these and just have a conversation. Two brothers from different mothers who almost look alike. I mean, if you notice, I'm getting, we're just, and really, and he has been my best friend, and for ever since we raced one another at Churchill High School many months ago, and we were listening to Earl Klugh and Keith Jarrett, great piano improvo, the Clone concert. If you've never heard that concert, wow. I play
and
it all the time.
and one other thing
And even
I wanted
yeah.
to say to those listening, and this is very profound. And when I heard this, it was Tom Skinner.
Yeah.
And he said this. He talked about empowering and the man and then the thrusting and the strength of legions of angels. He said, and he talked about the way to procure the greatest amount of power and force is to forgive someone that doesn't deserve it.
That's right. Boy, that's so good.
And if you don't forgive, you become the person that you won't forgive.
That's right.
You become who you won't forgive.
Wow. I love Tom. We used to hear him in college together, and I got to go with him, put on a cowboy hat, and he put me on the streets of New York City down in Harlem, and had all these kids come around sharing the gospel. What an amazing. Yeah, he wrote a great book years ago called If Jesus is the Answer,
What are
then
the
what are your
questions?
questions?
Yeah. He was the pastor of
Yes.
my wedding. He was the pastor of my wedding.
Yeah, and just oh, it's so good. What a great memory, Tom Skinner. And he learned the value of sowing in the next generation.
Yes.
And as we tie this together, the father difference, and kind of our, what we're all about. When God the Father makes a difference in you as a man or as a woman, if you're sneaking into this guy's podcast, um, then you'll be able to make that same kind of difference in people that you love. And God's made us as men to not just be isolated on there. He's made us to reproduce and to reproduce what he sows into us to give out. And that's what fathers do. And it's never too late for you to get your family back. It's never too late to turn your marriage around. It's never too late for you to maybe rediscover a brand new season as a man. And we hope this podcast just grabs your heart a little bit. And one of the keys we deal with a lot, you shared right at the end there, the issue about forgiveness. It's the way to never become a slave to hatred, anger, bigotry, etc. It's the way to connect with other people and restore your relationship and not be bitter. So if you'd like to know more about that, we got tools. And if you want to get a hold of Brian Holloway, you can find him all over, the world. Just put in Brian Holloway. You'll see his beautiful mug, or go to his website, brianholloway.com. And if you'd like to find out about what we're doing, you can either search for Ed McGlasson or Ed Tandy McGlasson or thefatherdifference.com. And we're so grateful you're at my podcast with my friend. And so we're going to end this in prayer like we do. So, Brian, would you pray us out for those that are been watching today?
Sure. And God, thank you for your strength and love and mercy. Thank you that we don't have to be perfect, that you love us where we are, and you come with the strength. You're always there. And you have a victorious, incredible, wonderful, inspirational life that lives beyond this earth to eternity. And it's a promise that you gave when you went on the cross and you took the burden and weight and the stress and pain of all our sins, and we are forgiven. We thank you for that. We live in the joy and happiness of your promise. We live in the excitement and laughter of the next new day. We live in the joy and lightness and fun of the exciting. And we declare that today, moving forward in this instance and forever, marks the beginning, that we can look back at today and say, today things changed in my life forever. And Lord, lock that door in the name of Jesus so they can never go back. In Jesus' name I declare, and I fire all the long bows of prayer. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, brother. Good to be with you. You've been an amazing blessing and friend to me for most of my whole life. And so, hey, we'll see you next time.
Okay.
God bless you.
Much love. Love to all the family, to the kids.
If you've enjoyed what you've seen and heard today, and you want to know more about how to be the husband and father your family really needs, please go to thefatherdifference.com and click on the Fatherhood Academy and sign up today. It only takes one loving father to change the course of generations, and one perfectly heavenly father to begin the process. May God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you in the Fatherhood Academy.